At least at one point, if they haven't put it on hold, they were going to include the Arabic language as part of the mandatory curriculum that's being taught to all the school kids. Can you straighten me out if I'm wrong about that?
Well, sure, and it's not all the school kids. It's one of their feeder systems, which basically just means there's a bunch of elementary schools that go to an intermediate school and then so on and so on. So it would just be a fraction of it. But I think that probably the last point is what would happen at K-6 because incorporating parts of Arabic culture and maybe teaching them some count to 10 in Arabic, and that would be incorporated with what is the state-mandated curriculum. It wouldn't be classes per se, but it would be, they're a captive audience, they're in a classroom, and they would be learning tidbits about Arabic culture and language and the numeric system.
Laurie, here's the thing I'm curious about. People who studied this a little bit know that Arabic culture and the Muslim religion tend to be fairly well integrated. The two are kind of hard to tell apart at once. Is there the danger here that kids are going to have parts of not just Arabic culture and counting to 10, but also the Muslim religion pushed on them in a public school?
Well, I don't know if parents are concerned that they would be, forced to learn about, the Muslim religion. I think that the bigger issue is that, out of the school, so why should some other culture that doesn't even support Christianity be in our
and yet here we've got Muhammad and his religion sort of making inroads, and I would ask you, have you seen instruction from the school to do with any kids?
Well, the way that it was explained to me today is that it's the U.S. Department of Education that identified through some research that it did that there are three what they call critical languages that would contribute to the success of students who are graduating in the years to come. And those include Arabic, Chinese, and Russian. So those are the only three that you can write the grant for. And it so happens that Arabic was the one that Mansfield received.
Now hold on. Arabic, Chinese, and Russian. We're in a country that speaks English right now. All scientific research has to be published in English worldwide. We've got the World Wide Web that is about 70 or 80% English. I understand that in pure statistical terms, English speakers are a minority on planet Earth, but it really seems as though it is one of the dominant languages in terms of success. And yet we're going to teach kids the Arabic language because they would run into it where?
Yeah, I know. And the thing about it is that's so funny is that in Texas, the other dominant language is
Spanish. Yeah.
So many Spanish speakers, and we do have that in our schools, but the advantage that would be given to these kids who wanted to take Arabic is that they could take it at middle school in those grades, and they would already have high school credit before they even get into high school. The only other language you can do that with is Spanish, and you can only do it for 1 year. So it would be giving an advantage to the kids who wanted to take Arabic because they could knock out 2 of the 4 years in middle school.
So there's a real push then. The system is being built to heavily encourage kids to take this optional language, when that question comes up.
Well, that's right, and I believe that that's the way the U.S. Department of Education has, set this out, that this is the way that it's supposed to be implemented.
Boy, I'll tell you, and you said parents are fired up?
Well, I wasn't at the meeting last night. I did watch some of the video of the meeting last night, and they seemed more upset about the fact that there just was no notification. This was an email that was circulated. I began receiving emails last week about it, but it was really just through the grapevine. People were finding out that this curriculum was going to be added next fall.
Well, here's the funny thing. I'm talking to Larry Barriger, who's a Fox 4 News reporter in Fort Worth, Texas. It seems as though if this was something that the school district thought was innovative and cool and cutting edge and wonderful for the educational process, that it's something they would have been bragging about to parents. The fact that, as you say, the parents had to find out about it incidentally or accidentally makes me a little bit suspicious that maybe the school district officials knew that this was going to be a hot button.
So I asked about that, and I said, you know, if you knew that this was going to be a flashpoint, why not come out and say it? But the superintendent of schools ended up apologizing last night for the fact that they hadn't been, you know, transparent about it.
Boy, I'll tell you, this does not seem like the way to run. At this point, have they put it on hold?
Yeah, I mean, what they said is that they have stopped writing the curriculum, that they're going to go back to square one, and that they're going to get the parental input. I think that, you know, perhaps the whole PC thing is keeping people from saying perhaps what they're really feeling about this. But I would imagine that the more people who find out and the more parents who start giving their input, it may be a point where, you know, they're just not able to do this, it won't be viable.
You know, Laurie, at the risk of suggesting you do something that would be disruptive, kind of like talk show hosts do, it would be interesting to ask these folks as they teach Arab culture to these kids, are they going to teach them about homosexuals or adultery or women claiming to have been raped or women's rights or any of those other interesting things that they've been treated in different fashion by the folks in Sharia law and the Arab culture?
I think that's really tricky, and, you know, the way that it would explain to me is perhaps instead of snow fast, making a snowflake, the kids will grab, you know, whatever particular that are
We appreciate you coming out and explaining all this for us.
Well, it's my pleasure.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, Mark who's with Fox 4 News in Fort Worth, Texas. What do you think of that? I understand. I've been getting emails all day about this today. It is not mandatory language instruction, but it's almost more disturbing than that. The fact that they would make mandatory teaching as part of the curriculum about Arabic culture, but of course, it's the cleaned up Disney version of Arabic culture. It's not the downright nasty one that's really out there in the world. We have Compass Media. The Lord. September becoming, we service 147 Valley, and call us your range. Call 737-1831. Like the cars and listeners, we can test the voice. Not that we but work us call
$60 IT gift card, valid to February 12th, $50 for $4,000 store only. Super tax branding. Income based on credit school service credit supervisors. International office tax branding. Before landing frequent. Office now. Of course, Smokes for Less. Their name says it all. Is your lottery headquarters on the Central Coast. Whether it's scratchers, daily, or super lotto, Smokes for Less has it all. And they have winners. So stop by either location for your chance to win. Smokes for Less is your winning lottery headquarters. 1604 Grand Avenue in Grover Beach, or 338 East at Arabia in the 99 Cent Shopping Center in Santa Maria. Smokes for Less, where you're always welcome and greeted with a smile. Smokes for Less.
Live online at 1240KSMX.com. 1240 KSMX Santa Maria, a service of El Dorado Broadcasters.
I'm